Ah, I think we're here. I think we're here. I think we're here. Can you hear me? I can see you. Well, I can see me on two screens. Let's see what we've got. I don't want any volume. Beyond the Cabaret is here. Benjamin Lush, are you there on Facebook? Let's see. Oh, so much, so much. Oh, where I can't see the comments. Can't see the comments on Facebook. Okay, let me do the Instagram first because, you know, double technology, a little bit frightening. Benjamin Lush, if you can comment on Facebook. Oh, Pete Python is on Facebook. Benjamin Lush, it's on the Cabaret versus Cancer page, I believe. Anyway, hello the world. I am here live on Instagram, up here, and on Facebook, here. What a world. What a bloody world. So, after last week's hiccup, let's say it was a hiccup, when the cat was sick, you've missed it. You've missed it. She's already been sick tonight. She was sick 3 times, twice in the living room and once here by the beer table. But I think because the clocks changed in October and she hasn't caught up yet, she thought she was doing it live on air, and she wasn't. She was out of sync. So you've missed the cat sick. You've missed Monkey's cat sick. The tradition of a rose tinted hour. So welcome everybody. Have you got your tea? I've got my tea. Benjamin Lush has made me a cup of tea in my Wizard of Oz mug, complete with the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and Dorothy. Oh, it says waiting for but no cowardly lion. No cowardly lion on this mug. So we are here again for the second Rose Tinted Hour on the last day of November. Can you bloody believe it that tomorrow is going to be the 1st of December? I tell you, we all came home from our places of work, our activities in March, and all of a sudden it's December. And what have we done? We've set up a desk in the hall and we've been here since March. But anyway, I digress. How are you all? I see we've got quite a few people on Instagram watching, quite a few people on Facebook. We've got Pete Python, Dave Cross, Shell Locke, we've got John Atfield, we've got Benjamin Lush, and we've got Sean Magic Mooney. Evelyn is here as well. I don't know if she's still here. She was here. Evelyn, are you still there? Evelyn, I interviewed a few weeks ago on the 20 questions. So I've tried to set things up a little bit differently this evening, so at least my face is going in the same direction, whereas last month I was having to twist my head all the time. So, and that's not good for anybody. Oh, Sean Magic Mooney is on both Facebook and Instagram. That is truly the world of tomorrow. So here we are. What are we going to do tonight? We're going to drink tea, hope that the cat isn't sick anymore, or indeed goes for the proppage that's just to my right. She may make an appearance. You may see a tail go in front of me. That'll be Monkey. How's your Monday been, everybody? How's your Monday? Silence. It's weird, isn't it? Tonight I'm going to give you the very first notice of the grants that Cabaret versus Cancer is awarding this December. I am going to tell you about our advent calendar. I am going to tell you about our new December Pound for the Holiday campaign. I've got here all your questions in the dream jar. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did last Wednesday. But you'll have to wait for that. You'll get that straight away. I'm not going to give away the money shot right at the beginning. So yeah, okay. December grants. You know that this has been an incredibly difficult year for us all. It's been an incredibly difficult year for you guys to earn money and in your jobs. Shops have been shut. People have been on furlough. Cabaret community has all but ground to a halt, and people just don't have as much disposable income. So I wasn't expecting us to be able to give very much in the way of grants this December. But as I mentioned here at the last Rose Tinted Hour, we received a grant of a donation. It wasn't even a grant, it was a donation. We received a £10,000 donation last month from Yvette on behalf of her friend who had died. And because of that donation, we are able to make full grants this year, this December, which is amazing and makes my heart warm. Either that or it's the tea. So I am pleased to tell you. Do you want to know? Shall I tell you or shall I just wait? Let's see. Have we got any messages? It's hard having to do everything. Well, it's been a weird day, Monday-ish. So Yvette, are you still here? So Yvette gave us a donation of £10,000 and she's on the Facebook feed. So thank you, Yvette. At our board meeting at the weekend, we are all incredibly grateful for your generosity. It has made it all amazing. So I can confirm that we are giving £6,000 to the Stardust Fund at St John's Hospice in North London. As you know, the Stardust Fund is set up and run exclusively by Cabaret versus Cancer, with the social work team at the hospice to support children who are losing a close relative to cancer, and we're giving them another £6,000. We are giving £4,000 to the Snorky project at St Joseph's Hospice in East London. We have been working with St Joseph's for about 3 years now, maybe even 4, and the Snorky project we have funded from start to finish. We are now looking at taking the Snorky project and adapting some of the materials for older children, as well as translating it into some of the languages that are more commonly heard in East London. So we are giving £4,000 to the Snorky project. We also are giving £2,000 to the end of life ward at St Joseph's Hospice. That £2,000 will help pay just for some nice stuff for the people who are in the end of life ward. We are giving £4,000 to Macmillan, to the grant giving pot. Now, if you remember from my previous messages, this cat's going to be annoying. The grant giving fund at Macmillan specifically is there for people who have cancer and are having financial difficulties. You might not know this, but when you're having chemotherapy, you're cold, you're a lot colder. So people will have increased heating costs. Sometimes there's weight fluctuations, so they need clothes. So they can apply to Macmillan for a grant, and all of our money to Macmillan is solely ring-fenced to those for that reason, so people can get money when they need it most. We're also giving £4,000 to Cancer Research UK, because they fund all of the cancer research in the country, and without the research that they do, survival rates for cancer wouldn't be what they are today. So that takes us up to a total of £20,000. So we have been awarding grants this year of about £42,000. We awarded 20,000 in June, and at the start of lockdown, we awarded St Joseph's an extra couple of £1,000 because they needed to buy laptops. They had one laptop to share amongst the social work team, and that we didn't feel was at all acceptable when you're trying to do child bereavement. So that means that this year we have been able to award grants of £42,000, which is amazing, and I am so grateful that we were able to do that, because you know what, cancer is still very much a thing. Just because COVID is here and getting all the limelight doesn't mean to say that cancer isn't still a thing. And because of COVID, people aren't getting to spend those last days with people. They're not getting to have the funerals and the wakes and the celebrations of people's lives that they wanted. So the work that we do with the child bereavement team is even more important than it was, and it's always been important. The money that we give to cancer research, all of this stuff really, really matters, and it genuinely makes a difference. Because we work so closely with the hospices, I know what our money does. They send me updates twice a year, and I speak to them regularly. So it's really, really great for me to be able to say, hand on heart, I know that your money and your donations is making a difference. So every time you place a bid in one of our auctions, even if you don't win the item, you've put the price up so somebody else has to pay more money. Every single time you share a post, you're reaching somebody that I don't know. So everything that you do, whether it's texting to donate money to us, whether it's making a monthly direct debit, whether it's bidding on one of our auctions, or whether or not it's sharing our social media posts, you're making a difference to the charity. And that means you're making a difference to the real lives of real people who are at their lowest. So thank you all. You are amazing. And without you all, the charity would just be me sitting in the hall talking to a computer screen, and it'd be weird. So thank you all. I will be typing all this up and putting it across our social medias later on this week. But you guys, because you're here tonight, you're the first ones to hear about it. So thank you all. Give yourselves a pat in the back and have a swig of tea. So yeah, one of the things that we are doing this December and is an advent calendar. We've never done an advent calendar quite like this before. It's frankly remarkable. Serena up in Leeds is helping with all of our social media, but starting tomorrow on the 1st of December all the way through to December the 25th, every single day there'll be something new behind one of the doors on our advent calendar. Sometimes it's a message. It's a message from some of our ambassadors, from some of our friends, from family. There are exclusive discounts. Yes, for the first part of the month, you'll be able to get a discount to some of our friends who have Etsy shops and get actual discount on actual independent, non-Amazon stuff. So you'll be helping an independent maker, and you'll be supporting Cabaret versus Cancer at the same time. That's amazing. We also have some flashback videos, so we'll be looking back at some of the great stuff that we've done over the last few years and reminding you about that. And yeah, and alongside that, we're running our December campaign. It's called £1 for the holidays. And what's that about? Everybody's asking. I hear you. I can hear you shouting here in East London. What's £1 for the holidays, Rose? Well, £1 for the holidays is simply that. I'm just asking everybody to give me £1. Give the charity £1. I'm sure we've all got it. Even a week before payday, even a day before payday, it's just £1. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you're in the UK, pick up your phone, text the word star to 70480. It's the right way round on Facebook. It's the wrong way round on Instagram. Text the word star to 70480 and you will be donating £1 for the charity. I'm aiming to raise £500 this month. That's not a lot of money. That's only 500 people who have to pick up their phone and text the word star to 70480. Every time you're with a group of friends, perhaps on a Zoom call, perhaps in a Microsoft team meeting, just say, hey everybody, let's pick up our phones, text the word star to 70480 and give £1 to the charity. I will be doing that this week at my day job and see if anybody stops me, or if they try to stop me. We'll also be doing it live on Twingo. Everybody will be stopping what they're doing, picking up their phone, texting the word star to 70480. And every couple of days, I will be posting a fundraising thermometer. So that thermometer will have 500 at the top. At the bottom, it will go up, it will go up, it will go up, it will go up every day until we get to that 500. And then it'll go up even more, because you're all going to say to your friends, your family, even that person next to you at work that you don't really like. Oh, that's the cat knocked over something. I haven't got a clue what. You're going to say to everybody, why don't you pick up your phone, text the word star to 70480. It's easy. It's £500. Between us, we must know 500 people. Surely. And I'm sure you know 500 people just on your own. So The whole of December, we want to raise £500. It's not a lot of money, but you have to get everybody you know to pick up their phone, text the word STAR, it's just 4 letters, STAR, to 70480. It's easy peasy. If you're not in the UK, you will have to make that donation via PayPal, but we have pinned the PayPal link on Instagram. It's on all our social medias and you can find it everywhere. So that's what we've been up to so far. I'm going to have some more tea. The cat's knocked something over behind me. I have no idea what it is. It stopped making a noise, so it must be a good thing. So all week you have been sending in your questions. So we've got all the questions that you have asked me, and I'm gonna pull out a question now, I think, and then I'll tell you what I did last Wednesday. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? Yeah. You can also ask me questions as we go through. I'm willing to answer most questions. If you give a big enough donation, I'll answer pretty much. Oh yeah, if you give a big enough donation, I'll answer any question. How's that for a challenge? Right, okay, so let's do the first one, and then I'll have some more tea, and then I'll tell you what I did last Wednesday. Oh, okay. So this is a question that's come in, and I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to come back to this because it has a linkage to what I did last Wednesday, and I think it would give away the surprise if you didn't know what it was. I'm going to pick out another one. I know that's quite cheeky. Stop moaning. I can hear you groaning from here. Right, okay, we'll try this question. Okay, so Shell Locke in Manchester, our friend Shell. Shell says, which fictional character or characters do you most identify with? Which fictional characters do I most identify with? And I thought about this, and I thought, oh, would it be that one? Would it be that one? And then I realised that it's Wednesday Addams, Morticia Addams, and in fact, pretty much any woman in the Addams universe. They're all amazing, and they're strong, and they're feisty, and they take no shit. And boy, is Gomez in love with Morticia. So yeah, I would be Morticia Addams, Wednesday Addams, and pretty much most of the women in the Addams universe. Probably even Debbie. There's probably a little bit of Debbie in there too. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of Debbie in there too. But yeah, I would be yeah, all the women in the Addams universe headed up by Morticia, because you know, who doesn't want to be Morticia Addams? She's amazing. I think there's a little bit. I'm sure it's Debbie. Is it not? It is Debbie that Joan Cusack plays. I think there's absolutely a little bit of Debbie in me. Maybe the killing sociopath bit, not the blonde bit, not the interior design bit. Right. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I did last week. So most of you will know that last year I was 50. Yes, it was the Cabaret calendar highlight of the year. It was a party to end all parties, and there was presents. There was magnificent presents, and one of the presents I got from Ruby Wednesday and Keith Ramsey was an envelope. Yes, it was just an envelope, and I thought, oh, this is curious, I said. And it turned out that in that envelope was a voucher for a taxidermy class. Yes, you heard me, a taxidermy class. So I've been sitting all through lockdown hoping that the taxidermy clause would not be caught up in one of the tiers, and I booked my taxidermy class. So first of all, in the envelope there was this. This is a taxidermy workshop manual. The chapters are called the first incision. Peeling the skin. Detaching the limbs. Quite a few pages on detaching the limbs because it's one of the most complicated bits. Detaching the head. Washing the pelt. Blow dry and tanning. Stuffing the mouse. And that's the end. So this little booklet will take you step by step through taxidermying a mouse. And then I remembered when Benjamin and I went to New York about 5 years ago, we went to a taxidermy class. So there we go. This is a mouse, what I did with Benjamin in New York City. We haven't managed to get the mices mounted yet because we don't know anybody with a tiny electric drill. I'm sure Sean Magic Mooney has an electric drill, but we've just sat on these for five years in a box going, oh, I wish we knew somebody with a drill. Never even occurred to me to think we should take a bit of wood to Sean's house so he could drill it. So this was the mices, what we did in New York City. I did a little white mouse because, you know, that's me, a little white mouse. And Benjamin Lush did a two-headed, two-tail, half black, half whited headed mouse. And it's kind of scary, but I haven't brought that out. So I did that 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, I said to Benjamin, you know what? I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the first incision, the peeling the skin, the detaching the limbs, the scooping out of the brains, and then the sewing up. I really, really enjoyed it. So I was over the moon when Ruby and Keith got me a voucher to go and do some more taxidermy. But it wasn't a mouse. Oh no, it wasn't a mouse. It wasn't even a guinea pig. I stuffed, detached the limbs, scooped out the brains of this. Oh yes, this is a weasel. No, it's not a weasel. It was going to be a weasel, but she didn't have any in the freezer. This is a stoat. And you know it's a stoat because it's got a little black bit on the tip of its tail. This is a baby stoat. It's got tiny little fangs. It's still got its whiskers attached. And I stuffed, incised, yanked, mopped out the membrane in the brain, snipped off his little testicles. We lost his penis bone because it was so tiny. But yeah, I did this. I did this. And so I came out of the taxidermy workshop and I sent a picture to Benjamin, and then I sent a picture to Ruby saying, oh, I did the taxidermy workshop that you got me last year. And then Benjamin said, well, what's it called? And it's like, well, there's no question about what it's called. It's Ruby Jr. Oh yeah, it's Ruby Jr. Complete with tiny little teeth, whiskers, and lovely little ears. So yeah, Ruby Jr. And I had the most amount of fun. The lady who taught me how to do it said that I was a natural, and I was a lot quicker than the rest of her students. Benjamin thinks it looks like it needs a gun belt. I think probably a gun belt would be kind of good. I have knitted a red glittery scarf, but yeah, a little gun belt would be kind of cool. Maybe a little, I need to find like an Action Man gun belt on eBay. But yeah, I did this, and it was amazing. And when I was in the taxidermy studio, so there was just the girl who was teaching me, Suzette, and a guy who works for her, Elliot. Elliot was skinning a road-killed fox. Yeah, it was enormous, and he was just skinning it. They reckon it takes about 3 days to do a fox, but I think maybe I'm going to work my way up to doing foxes. But the question that I didn't answer from earlier on was which critter's next for a stuffing in the taxidermy sense. And that wouldn't have made any sense had I not told you about Ruby Jr. and the wee mousies that we did in New York City. So what's next for the stuffing? I think I'm going to go bird. I think the Stoats and weasels are quite the kind of the biggest of the mammal classes that she does. But then she does birds. So she does like what they're not called blackbirds and they're not ravens. What are they called? Rooks. Is that a word for a bird? A black bird that is looks like a raven, looks like a crow, a rook. So she has rooks, she has quails, and she has chickens, which would be amazing. So Benjamin Lush is suggesting on Facebook that maybe an emu. I don't think it's a crow, Pete. Pete Python's saying a crow. I think it's a rook. I think rook sounds like a word that I've heard in relation to birds that look a little bit like ravens. So I'm gonna start saving up my pennies, and I'm gonna go back. And I think a bird. I think a bird is the way forward. Have any of you guys been taxiderming? Hmm? So yeah, taxiderming. I think my new favorite hobby. There are rooks. Yeah, I think rooks. I think it was a rook. So yeah, I think taxidermy is my new favorite hobby, which means that I get to get let loose with a very very sharp blade. It is really hard to detach the limbs because you want to like, and you can see here on Ruby Junior, you want to keep all the little claws. So you don't want to damage the claws or the nails because you want them kind of sharp and vicious. So you've got to make sure you keep the nail bed and everything intact. So that's the hardest bit. But you see there's little teeth, all the little teeth are still there. There's some whiskers still here. And yeah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, taxidermy, my new hobby. Right, okay, another question. Do you want another question? Have a cup of tea first. Right, okay, so we've got quite a few questions that have come in today and yesterday, so it's quite a lot to get through. Right, okay. Okay, right. Oh, this one looks like a big one. Okay. Oh, it's another one from Manchester. And Shell asks, who are the 3 Lynch regulars and the 3 new faces you'd like to see in Lynch's forthcoming Netflix series, Wisteria? Now, I 3 was not enough, so I've split it. I've genderized them. I've done male or male identifying and female or female identifying. So we've got 3 new and 3 returners. Okay. New to work with Lynch in my dream head, John Hamm. John Hamm, can you imagine what Lynch could do to him? Look what he did with Bill Pullman. Mads Mikkelsen, because I think that's a match made in heaven. And Christopher Walken. The fact that Christopher Walken hasn't worked with Lynch seems a criminal act to me. And yeah, I think Mads Mikkelsen, John Hamm, Christopher Walken, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I'd tune in just for the credits. Oh, maybe they'd rip off their shirts in a Chris Isaak way. Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? And my women, so the female identifying people I think should work with Lynch in Wisteria. I've gone for Elizabeth Moss because I think she's amazing. She does tears, and I think she would be a really good Lynch woman. Aubrey Plaza from Legion, because she's mad as a box of hats, and I think would be a great addition to the Lynch women universe. And Kate Blanchett, yes, yeah, and nobody thought she was going to be announced, did she? I think Kate Blanchett with Lynch, Aubrey Plaza, and Elizabeth Moss. That would be quite a nice little show, wouldn't it? You can see it's all starting to take shape. My returners, I think, is that a bit more predictable? I would say Christopher Glover, because of course Christopher Glover only appeared in a little bit of a film, but he's still a Lynch returner. Ray Wise, because he's amazing, and Bill Pullman, because Lost Highway was incredible. And on the women, Cheryl Lee, Patricia Arquette, and Grace Zabriskie. There you go. And that's how Wisteria should be cast, Mr. Lynch, if you've not already started. That would be great, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? No matter what happens, you put so what's that? 3, 6, 9. If you put the 12 of them in a room with Lynch, holy shit. Holy shit, it would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Crispin Glover, not Crispin Glover. Crispin Dry. Crispin Glover. Yes, Benjamin, thank you very much. So yeah, so there's been quite a few thumbs up from that. John Atfield is a big fan of the Opera Plaza, and yeah, Sherlock agrees. All of these. Can you imagine? Mads Mikkelsen, Christopher Walken, John Hamm with Lynch. Oh yeah. Now that would be an FBI worth tuning in for. Right, another question. I genuinely have no idea what questions are coming out. Okay. So Annika in the Netherlands has asked what my perfect show would be, and so this question came up last month, and I didn't answer it because we ran out of time. But I genuinely believe one of the best shows we ever did was the R 100 show. We had Heavy Metal Pete, we had Betsy Bonbon, we had Chrysalis, we had me, and we had Embrouille. All in all, I would rerun the R 100 show over and over again because it was amazing. So yeah, Benjamin Lucius suggesting a dog show would be the perfect show. No, it'd be a cat show, Benjamin, because it'd be a perfect show. What's your perfect show? A cat show. Dogs don't go purr. Pfft. What a fool. Yeah. So Pete on Facebook is suggesting that, he's kind of, I think, amazed, I think disappointed that there's no Joe Pasquale there. But to be honest, we don't need Joe Pasquale because I can do all of the impressions of any famous Hollywood star. That's so Sean Mooney has said on Facebook, don't let Thorne near the dogs, because there was an incident, we'll call it an incident, an accidental incident a few years ago with Sean's dog Harvey and a big and the door of a car. I still laugh. I'm still laughing. And Harvey banged his head accidentally on purpose. Accidentally banged his head against the the car window. It made an almighty racket. And I don't think Harvey's ever really been the same. He walks slightly to one side, but I'm sure it was nothing to do with what happened to me. And last night, I was going into the bathroom and the cat was just standing in the hall, completely in the way, in between the door and the laundry rack, and she just wasn't moving. And I slowly nudged the door to the bathroom, thinking she'll get out of the way. She didn't get out of the way. The door banged against her head. She went over to one side, and I laughed for probably a little bit too long. And it was the Harvey incident all over again. And Sean is right. I have only ever laughed about the way I banged Harvey's head on the door. So yes, text the word star to 70480 and so yeah, you see, there's I think the animals have to take some of the responsibility themselves. All they had to do is move out of the way of the door, don't fall into the car window. And I distinctly think and believe that in the past you went through a pothole, down a pothole, over a pothole, and that's why Harvey's head got banged against the glass window. It wasn't my fault, maybe. Benjamin Lush is saying on Facebook that I had to stop brushing her teeth because she was laughing so hard. I did. I had to stop brushing my teeth, spit out the toothpaste, I don't know, concoction, because I was it was really very funny. Really very funny. I'm wicked. Truly wicked. This is why I'm a little bit Debbie in the Addams Family universe. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, okay, another question. Benjamin Lush is reminding us to text star to 70480, and I'm going to pin that message so that everybody can see it. Benjamin, your message is now pinned. Okay, another question. One of these questions was quite big that I got quite early on, and I had to think about that for a while, but I've written that one down. Okay, Pete Python in Manchester, named after the snake, and friend to the charity, Pete Python. So Pete and Shell play Twingo on a Thursday night with us and an international cast of Twingo players. And this has been going on for 33, 34 weeks, and we play Twingo and we drink vast amounts of gin and we have a bit of a giggle. And Pete Python says, for the inevitable Twingo the musical, who's writing the songs, whose choreography, or who plays you, Lush and Monkey? Well, I think I play me. I don't think, I'm not having anybody pretend to be Rose Bloody Thorne. I play Rose Bloody Thorne. Lush would be played by Chris Isaac in a vest, slightly torn, fringe slightly floppy. Chris Isaac. And Monkey would be played by Ruby Wednesday. That's what I think. I think all the songs would be by the Wyndham Earls, including a brand new recording of the Boomtown Rat classic Rat Trap. And the whole film would be choreographed by Bob Fosse, obviously, because you know we've all got the Fosse moves in us. So, oh, Shelllock says, wouldn't it be a strange twist if Brando played me? I'm not sure he could do the accent, Shell. I don't think he could do the accent. So yeah, Rose Thorne plays Rose Thorne, Chris Isaac plays Benjamin Lush, Ruby Wednesday plays Monkey the Cat, music by the Wyndham Earls, choreography Bob Fosse. I mean, I think Netflix are I can hear Netflix shouting for it right now. I really can. So Serena Del Fuego is our social media manager, and Serena keeps me on the straight and narrow when it comes to the socials, because she's not nearly 51 and understands it in a way that I don't. And she is telling me to remind you all, if you absolutely must do your shopping this festive season on Amazon, then make sure that you're shopping via Amazon Smile. It's the exact same shop as Amazon. You just put in the word smile.amazon.co.uk or search for Amazon Smile, or go to our website and get a link and choose Cabaret versus Cancer as your chosen charity. And then every time you shop on Amazon, make sure you go through Amazon Smile, and the charity get free money from Amazon. I think it's a tax dodge, but we get free money which means we can help more people who are affected by cancer. You can still buy the thing that you need to buy from Amazon because you need it here in 20 minutes, but the charities still benefit, and that makes shopping at Amazon feel a little less dirty. So make sure you shop at Amazon, Amazon.smile. So there we go. That's the questions so far. There's still a few more in the jar. There's a great deal of conversation going on here on Facebook, suggesting that perhaps maybe Chris Martin should be doing the songs. Shell thinks that that the Wyndham Earls are the right band, and yeah, it all seems to be lots of little hilarity ensuing on the old Facebook. But there's still some people watching on Instagram. So hello, Instagram. Right, another questione. Okay, so I'm sure most of you know. Do most of you know that I used to be a chef? Did you know I used to be a chef? I trained at a technical college, as they were known in the 80s. I trained at a technical college, and in Scotland, and I did my City and Guilds in hotel management. And then when I came to London, I was a chef at the House of Commons. I had worked in small hotels in Scotland, and then I had to move to London. I wanted to move to London. I had to leave my small town. There was a thing, and I wanted to leave the small town, and I applied for a job in Edinburgh and a job in London, and I got the job in London. So I came to London, and I came to London because the job I got was as a chef at the House of Commons. So I started work in 1989 as a chef at the House of Commons. I studied further while I was down here. I did my kind of degree equivalent of pastry chefing, as it was called, City and Guilds level 3 or something. And so yeah, I was a chef. And this question asks, what are the things do I miss and don't miss about being a chef? And who was I most excited to cook for? Well, I worked at the House of Commons, and there was really very few people there that I had any respect for. I was there the night that Thatcher resigned, and I was in the dining room. When she walked into the dining room, there all hell broke loose. There was cutlery being banged on the table. There was cheering, jeering. There was noise being made, and cutlery being banged on the table. So I was at the House of Commons when Thatcher resigned, but I don't think I was excited to cook for any of them. I did have a run-in with Ian Paisley, and I ignored him in a way that he didn't like being ignored, and so that was an incident. But mostly I didn't really see any of the people what I cooked for. But it was amongst the greatest moments of my life being a chef. I arrived in London in 1989. There was a huge tube strike, which meant that the tubes only ran on a Monday and a Friday, I think. So we all stayed at the House of Commons. We slept in committee rooms on army beds. So we got paid money for staying over. The sports and social club stayed up open all night. And we got overtime because there was hardly any chefs had stayed, and it was amazing. And I met some people there who were genuinely supportive of me as a human being. And I had moved to London knowing absolutely nobody. The only person I knew in London was the woman who had interviewed me at the House of Commons. And to say I know her would be a stretch of the imagination. I'd met her twice at 2 interviews, but I knew nobody else in London. I moved into a shared house in East London with people I didn't know, and I knew nothing. I knew nobody. I didn't know where to get where the goths went drinking. I didn't know anything or anybody. And being a chef at the House of Commons was amazing because I met some great people. I learned that I could drink even more than I thought I could, and I learned that vodka and blackcurrant and a bottle of lager was an acceptable breakfast as long as it was past 7 in the morning. I drank a lot when I was a chef. And yeah, Pete, I was a goth. I came to London as a goth. I I I dyed my hair black and took the dark path. Probably about 1986-ish. And so yeah, I came to London as a goth. I found out that Kensington Market was the place to go and get clothes. So I headed off to Kensington Market, got some clothes because you could, and they had loads of flyers. So I went and saw bands on my own. I found Slimelight on my own, which in the 80s was a little punk hangout. I hung out with the punks who drank upstairs at the Intrepid Fox. But the chefs from the House of Commons, I knew were always there if I just wanted to go out or we just wanted to drink in the Sports and Social Club. So yeah, what do I miss about being a chef? Probably the drinking and the people. What do I not miss? I don't miss the hours. I don't miss the hard work, the heat, and and the smell. So yeah, that's that. Okay, another question. Dave Cross. Dave Cross is one of our ambassadors. Dave Cross is one of the bookers at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern and somebody who I am genuinely very fond of. Dave says, we both like collectibles and precious and camp geeky things. What object would you most like Santa to bring you this year? It must be totally useless and selfish. And I did not have to think twice about that. It's Barbie as Darth Vader. Oh, bloody yes. Barbie as Darth Vader. I have quite a collection of Barbie dolls. Mostly, well, they're all still in their box. And last year out came the Star Wars range, Barbie as Darth Vader, and holy shit, she is hot. But it's really expensive. It wasn't expensive last year when I wanted it, and now it's really expensive. So Dave, that's my thing. That's my thing. Totally selfish for no good reason, but yeah, Barbie as Darth Vader. She does still stay on my my Amazon wish list. My Amazon wish list is still live for my 51st birthday in a week and a half. 51, who'd have thought that? That's bonkers. So yeah, Benjamin Lush has asked me off the hoof my least favourite Muppet, Miss Piggy. That's it, no question. I can't stand her. Can't stand Miss Piggy. And a lot of people I'm asking in the Cabaret community when I do 20 questions are saying that Miss Piggy's their favourite, not mine. Can't bloody stand her. Right, now this question came in very late in the day. This is from John Atfield. And John Atfield says, you have to completely rebrand Christmas. The way you choose will be the way it's celebrated going forward. You must have a mascot, you must have a decoration, and you must have a saying or catchphrase. So, first of all, my new Christmas is applicable to over 40s only. That's it. Under 40s, I don't give a shit. Have your Santa, do what you like. Pretend that the glitter on the pavement is rainbow dust. Do what you like. Over 40s, this is it. Over 40s. So the icon. So Christmas has Santa. I have Ruth Ginsburg. Over 40s, Christmas #2, icon Ruth Ginsburg. I dare anybody to argue. The decorations or mascot, it's a handheld mirror passed down through the women in your family through the generations and filled with their ghosts. Oh yeah, yep, I went there. I did the ghost thing. A handheld mirror filled with ghosts, championed by Ruth Ginsburg, And the catchphrase that you get to say to everybody for that period when you're over 40 only, screw you guys. There we go. That's my Christmas. Screw you guys. Here's Ruth Ginsburg and a old mirror filled with the ghosts of the women in my family. That's kind of cool, isn't it? I think it would catch on. I can see what the cards would look like with the mirror thing would be everywhere. You could buy pins that were mirrors. The mirror thing would become really quite the icon thing. Sean Mooney asks what I wanted to be when I grow up. When I grow up. Have I grown up? I don't know. I often think to myself, do I know what I want to do? I'm 51 in next week and I still don't really know what I want to do. But when I was a child, I wanted to be an air hostess because it was so glamorous. You know, I grew up in the 70s. Air hostesses were glamorous. You know, think Come Fly With Me, think Pan Am. There was a girl in my class at primary school whose dad was a pilot, and she would always go somewhere fancy. And once she came into school with a snake skin, one for Pete Python, a snake skin that her dad, who was a pilot, had brought back from some exotic location. So yeah, I wanted to be an air hostess. Pete Python asks, does Muppet Babies count as Muppet canon or not? I demand to know. I don't think so. I think that Muppet Babies is a different universe. And, you know, and what did they do to Fozzie? I don't think so. I don't think it's canon. I also don't think the new season that's on Disney Plus is canon. I think that's something different as well. I think the only thing that exists was what was filmed in that theatre with Jim Henson at the helm. Yeah. Snakeskins on a plane. Yes. Right. Okay. There are 3 questions in here, and I've got 8 minutes left before Instagram kicks me off. Okay. Dave Cross, who's your favourite hero or character of fiction? Wonder Woman. Yeah, she is awesome. Wonder Woman. I also have a Wonder Woman Barbie. Maybe next month I'll bring out all my Barbies and show you them. So Brian Cleary has asked a question. Brian is an international artist who donates original art pieces to our auctions, and he's incredibly talented. And he says top 10 movies. Top 10 movies is hard because it changes on a fairly regular basis. So this is my top 10 movies as of today, based on right now, and may change in about 20 minutes time when I realise I've forgotten one. First, in no particular order, Jaws, Grease, The Deer Hunter, because we watched it last night and I was reminded how bloody brilliant it was, Lost Highway, Bill Pullman, Singing in the Rain, Night of the Hunter, Donnie Darko, The Wizard of Oz, The Thing, and Dawn of the Dead. Zombies, sharks, horror, Bill Pullman, darkness, and a little bit of sadness. So yeah, that's my top 10 movies as it stands right this very minute, and in no particular order. As I said, it will change in about 20 minutes time when Benjamin reminds me that I forgot a film that I forgot about. I don't know what that would be. I don't know. Muppets on Space, Muppet Treasure Island. That was one, wasn't it? So here's another question. Now, one of the things I said was that I would help you with your Christmas shopping. So if anybody had any questions about, what do I buy my mum? What do I buy, the dog? If you're going to buy Harvey a present, Sean, I would suggest one of those little wrestling helmets that you get that's kind of padded, boxing hats. That would probably work. I'm going to ignore your last comment about Grease too. I've got 5 minutes left and Instagram will cut me off. So I said that I would help you with your Christmas shopping. And I got a question that said, I want to get my girlfriend a candle for Christmas. But how much is too much to pay for a candle? Well, how much is too much to pay for a candle? I think if you get into double figures, it's too much to pay for a candle. I mean, how good can a bloody candle be? £90 for a candle. Are you fucking bonkers? And actually, I'll tell you this, your girlfriend doesn't want a candle for her Christmas present. Get her a copy of Tank Girl. Get her a copy of the Addams Family cartoons done by Charles Addams way back when. They were amazing. Get her Calvin and Hobbes book. Don't get her a bloody fucking candle. How much is too much to spend for a candle? Anything in double figures is too much for a candle. And I dare you to argue with me on that fact. Yeah, get her a Calvin and Hobbes book. And Sean Mooney, absolutely right. Good Catholic child that he is, reminds us you can get them free from the Catholic Church. You just walk in, they're all there, and off you go. Rattle the box so people think you put money in it. Easy. Easy. Oh, Pete Python has pointed out that what if it's a candle that smells of Chris Isaac's junk? I don't think, no. I don't think anybody should, I don't think Chris Isaac junk should be in a candle. Chris Isaac, if he was in a candle, dripping wax over his slightly ripped shirt and his floppy fringe, well, that would be an experience, wouldn't it? But you don't want it to smell dirty. Right, okay, so I haven't got any more questions. Have you got any questions for me? There's about 2 minutes left on Instagram. And then after this, I'm going to go and watch last night's episode of the Northern Lights, because we haven't seen it yet. Not the Northern Lights, is it? What's it called? His Dark Materials, because we haven't watched it yet. And I managed to avoid all spoilers. And also we've got the so we've got that to watch after this finishes at 9 o'clock. So that's been it. Another hour with Rose Thorne. You missed the cat sick because she was a little bit premature, and Benjamin didn't decide that this would be a good night to restart the internet. So it was a win-win kind of evening. You've all met Ruby Jr. Obviously, there you go, Ruby Jr. And if you're free on Thursday, come and join us for Twingo. Twingo is mental and a little bit fun, and this will be week 34, I think. So come and join us for Twingo. We've got prizes, amazing little prizes that I've been knitting all weekend. Regardless of whether you're going to play Twingo, whether or not you are ever going to look at me in the same way again, keep your dogs away from me, text the word star STAR to 70480. That's it. And get everybody you know to text the word STAR to 70480. If you are feeling particularly flush with cash, you can text the word Cabaret and donate £5. But all we want you to do is commit to sending us £1. It's really easy, and your money makes a genuine difference to people's lives. And without your money, we can't make this difference. So shop on Amazon. Smile if you have to shop on Amazon. If you've got friends in your life who are David Bowie fans, shop at the Cabaret versus Cancer Big Cartel page. All of our Bowie items are officially licensed by the Bowie estate in New York. So you're buying something that's official, not going to be frowned upon, and you can post about on David Bowie groups without getting people pissy. So yeah, support the charity, support your friends. If you know somebody who makes something or publishes something and are selling them, go and support them. Only use Amazon if you have to, and try and give back a little bit this year to the small businesses and local producers who have been really affected by COVID. So yeah, support people, shop independently. If you have to use Amazon Smile. And get everybody you know to send us £1 by texting the word STAR to 70480. I'm going to turn off Instagram first because it's going to count down, and who knows what happens after the countdown. So I'm going to press end on that. If I can cross the button there. End now. So so I'm no longer on Instagram, so we can talk about those guys. Otherwise, thank you all for your questions. Thank you for tuning in to me just rabbit on for an hour. I quite enjoy these hours. Get your questions to me. I think the next edition will be in December, obviously, because I'm doing these the last Friday of the month. The last Monday. Oh God, I need another cup of tea, Benjamin. So November, that will be the 28th, Monday, the 28th of December. I will be back here. It will be, will I be here on the 28th or will we be somewhere else? Who knows? I'll be here doing a Rose Tinted Hour, episode 3, on Monday, the 28th of December. Send me your questions. Maybe I'll have a wee drink because it's Christmas. And what else is there? You are all amazing. I'm so glad that you're all in my life, and support the charity, support Twingo, support each other, and as Benjamin Lush would say, wash your hands and don't lick the doorknobs. See you next time. End video. Press the button, Rose. Press the button. End.